Hello and welcome to the Irn-Cru podcast, the American football podcast made in Scotland by NFL lovers. My name's Keith McGinty and I'm your host this evening, and I am delighted to say I am joined by Danny McVeigh. How are we, Danny?
Mate, my team's in the FC Championship game. Yes! I am delighted. Sorry for people who are wearing headphones.
Well. And it's nice to see our chief making an appearance this postseason for a change. And we are delighted to welcome back our own big chief, Studs. Studs, you well, buddy?
All good, my man, all good. Been a wee while since I've been able to go on the crew. And Danny, I'm just going to start off by correcting you. You're actually in the Super Bowl because this game is going to be a write-off, which we'll cover later on. But I know I'm glad to be back.
Spoilers early doors.
I know it's been
a while. Group. Everyone, thanks very much for tuning in.
Let's wrap it up.
What I was going to say is my post-season, I've actually just realised the day I went to my referee's training Tuesday night, and then I've got up the day and I've developed the Patrick Mahomes waddle as I've been walking about today because my legs are actually that sore. And I'll say it before Danny does. Somebody's got to be doing it because Pat's not doing it now. So
I thought the waddle was for something else, mate. That's where I went. I was like, how were the showers?
Sore legs, Danny. Training sore legs.
Aye, that's what I meant.
That's the standard you can expect here in Irn-Cru, ladies and gentlemen. It's good to speak to you guys again. We're saying not had Studs on for a while, so we're interested to hear his point of view and the divisional round there that's just passed and what he thinks is going to happen with the championship games. And for the first time in a long time, how many years has it been now? Is it 8 years? This will be the first time that you guys won't be involved in it. How does it feel? So is it a weird feeling? You feeling a wee bit? It's a wee bit jealousy there.
And listen, you've got to give other teams a chance. Let's be honest. Know what I mean? So we're just taking a wee break out for a year, and we'll see what happens next year. I think for the Chiefs' season perspective, we kind of lost a lot of sort of close games, which hasn't been the sort of done thing previously. We've been winning those games, those one-score games, where we seem to kind of be on the losing side of it a lot this year. It's tough off season when you're so used to seeing them in the off season for so many years. But sure, we'll get over it and we'll bounce back next year. And big offensive coordinator announcement for the Chiefs this week as well. So with Eric Bieniemy returning, and again, obviously won a couple of Super Bowls with us previously. So be interested to see what he brings to the table.
We'll get to that when we're going to talk about the hirings and firings. We'll get to that a wee bit later on. But away from the actual NFL, there's been some interesting stuff been happening in the world of football. Did you catch any of the college championship Studs? I know you're a bit a fan of the college game. I've not managed to see the highlights yet, but it seems that the number one pick elect, Fernando Mendoza, managed to drag the Hoosiers to a college championship. That's some turnaround in 2 years, isn't it?
Yeah, I think the job Signetti's done at Indiana has gone massively under the radar for me. He's a very much Italian paisano, is Kirk Signetti, and obviously comes from the Nick Saban coaching tree as well. So he's got a lot of kind of history with Alabama and stuff like that. But the job he's done is absolutely ridiculous. And again, brings into question, would he have been able to do the job he's done if they didn't have those NIL rules in place? I guess we'll never know. Yes. They do, and they've took massive advantage of it. And not fair play to them. It's nice to see somebody other than one of the kind of supposed big college teams kind of winning it. I must admit, I was kind of rooting for Indiana when I seen they were up against Miami. I know Miami's not been that far in a long time, but it was nice to see a new name on the trophy.
If you don't know Signetti, Google him. Yeah, terrific turnaround. As I said, in 2 years to get that program to where it is. I'm just gutted the Notre Dame were forced out, regrettably. I thought it was a sickening choice, but yeah, we'll see how that does. And Fernando Mendoza, have you seen a couple of the Raiders videos with the ABBA background to it? I wonder. I can't wait for him to do an Eli and just say that he's not gone there.
Listen, there's only one player I'll have acceptable for Fernando, and it's nothing to do with American football. There's only one player I associate with that song, but it did make me chuckle. But I did watch the highlights, and it looked like a hell of a second half defence. He's definitely in top the first half, but then the second half, just Mendoza. Again, if you've not seen it, watch the highlights. His individual effort for his touchdown was unbelievable. So that was definitely a cracking game. I think they miss a trick though. See, putting on I suppose Tuesday morning for us, a Monday night for America. I just think they're missing a trick. They put it on a Saturday night where everybody can get melted and sit and watch it and be the belle of the ball at the weekend and just make a massive event for it. For me, I think they miss a wee trick and put it on Saturday night in America, Sunday morning here. You'll get people watching over here. Your NFL crowd will watch it on a Saturday night, Sunday morning.
One other wee bit of news that we've seen today, and I totally missed this, that he'd been away, was to see Ossie was back. He'd recorded a wee message, him and J-Bell, and I've got to say, the guys, you can see he's lost a fair bit of his muscle, his weight there. He's been battling for his life, and it's brilliant to see that he's making a return to fitness, and it's just brilliant to have him on our screens again. He's such a great ambassador, Danny.
I love him, because I was telling Emma, my good lady, we were watching it, and the J-Bell was on with Big Sue on the Sky coverage watching the game, and she was commenting on the energy that J-Bell brings to, the studio and the show and everything like that. And I was like, oh, you've not seen anything. Wait till you see him and Ossie together. I was like, what a combo. He's like, he's J-Bell times 10. He's had a few Red Bulls and he goes off in one. And it just happened to be that then you said on the thing. And actually, I was like, oh my God, like, he's just such a big part, I think, of the UK NFL sort of experience over the last sort of 10, 15 years, whatever it's been. His energy, his passion, his love has really brought in a lot of people, and it's so sad to see, him kind of looting in the way he was, but just so uplifting as well at the same time to see him doing so well, particularly after such a serious illness and everything like that, and just wish him all the best, and we absolutely love him.
Absolutely. Lots of love to him and his family. Good to see him back. Like you say, it's as if he kind of legitimises our support in the UK. He's over here, he's at the sideline for all the UK games. You see all the players coming over, and there's so much love and respect for him there. But just how he's promoting the game and bringing so many of us along, and for people like him, that's kind of helped get us hooked into the game. Who's been your favourite person in between him and J-Bell? I've got to say I loved Laura Woods. I thought she just took no nonsense for the two of them, but she was brilliant. Well,
I'm going to be you, Studs, right? I'm thinking.
Aye.
I have no idea. I always like the boy. Is it Mark Chapman? He used to do it.
Aye, Chappell's
absolute sound boy, by the way. Like, he just sat back, cool as a cucumber, just let them go at it, but knew his stuff, just fed them what they needed, let them go. He was good. But did he not step back as well? Something to do with a family illness or something like that, and he couldn't do it anymore as well. So
yeah, I think there was something with Chappell's as well. But I think, as Danny said, it's I think see if you are the host between J-Bell and Ossie, you have got the easiest job in the world, because as Danny says, the energy levels between the two of them is ridiculous. So
just try to rein them in.
Just sit back and let them go.
But again, it's daft stuff though, right? And it's something I hope that folk can maybe see with us. Like, we've known each other for the best part of 30 years or whatever it might be, right? And you can just tell these two guys love each other, they're best pals, and it's no forced, it's no faked. It's just them with a camera on them and just told, go be natural. And that's all they are. And that's why you end up loving them. That's why it's that genuine side to them. They know their stuff, but there's loads of people there who know their stuff. It's the human side of them is why you love them.
Absolutely.
As you say, it's that genuineness that they've got and the genuine bond that the two of them have with each other that comes across so well on the camera between them. And I think that's why everybody that watches them loves them. I don't think anybody would have a bad word to say about them.
Absolutely. It was good to see that. Big time. It's good to see the guys are back. They're also the Scottish teams are back in training. There's some open training sessions. If you fancy getting involved in American football yourself, have a look and see who your local club is. I'm sure they've got some open nights coming up, or have had a couple soon. Get involved. It's a great way to make new friends, to get fit, to pulverise some people. It's a wonderful thing to do. So yeah, get involved with some of your local clubs there. We are very, very excited to have teamed up with Walkabout for the Super Bowl again. Last year we did the quiz at the start of it. We're pushing it back a wee bit later in the evening now, and we'll be doing hosting our quiz and Walkabout on Super Bowl Sunday from 9 p.m. I believe there'll be tickets available. I'm not sure if there's any tables left, but they've got the bleachers there. There's loads and loads of other fantastic spaces for watching it. They've got hundreds of big screens. Of course, they've got the big massive screen for watching it as well. We thoroughly enjoyed it last year, Studs. It was a great atmosphere. Can't wait to get back.
I know it was a cracking night last year, apart from the result. But I know the atmosphere in the place and just being around. Again, it was fans at every single team there, and it was just a great wee night.
Superb. Danny, you've been gone years ago. I remember you gone. Was it with the goat's head you had on for Brady? Yeah.
To be honest, I can't mind. I've been to just about every pub in Glasgow for a Super Bowl. One with that. And before you say yes, okay, one of them I might have left prematurely, right? So let's just. I don't want to hear it anymore, right? Studs, don't.
I wasn't even going to bring it up.
You know you're going there, right? So let's not mention it. But no, it's like you can't beat it. Like, it's up and down the country. It doesn't matter where you are. Aberdeen, Inverness, Glasgow, Edinburgh. Pubs are got to be rammed. Come and join us. Walkabout. We'll have a good laugh. We'll do a quiz. There'll be prizes. We'll have a bloody good time, and we'll watch the Patriots win the Super Bowl.
Before we get there, we will have a look at the divisional round of matches that have just occurred. There's been some fantastic games over the past weekend there. Starting on Saturday evening, we had the Denver Broncos hosting the Buffalo Bills. The game ended up 33-30 to the Denver Broncos, which sounded as if it was going to be an amazing night, a fantastic way for them to go towards the championship game after a couple of years in the wilderness. And everything was looking bright and rosy until about 20 minutes, half an hour after the game, we started getting the messages coming through on X that Bo Nix had broken his ankle. There was an issue with his ankle and that he was going to be out. That was him done for the season. Danny, what did you make of the Broncos and Bills game?
Mental. I watched it with an absolute skin full of drink in me and a karaoke machine on, and I had an absolute wail because I've been in between singing The Chain on request from yourself, Keith. I nailed it, by the way, big man. I was watching it, and it was end to end. It was non-stop entertainment. It's exactly what you want from football in January. Well, I was going to say February, we're still in January. But it's exactly what you want to watch. You know, it had everything. You know, it's drama, it fumbles, amazing play, both sides, defence, offence, special teams, the entire lot. It was a brilliant spectacle and exactly what the sport is all about.
Studs, did you catch much of the game? I know you're a big fan of both sides.
I did have the game on, even as in watching it, but for me, it just once again highlighted that Josh Allen can't do it in the big games. Everybody's rants and raves about Josh Allen in the regular season. Again, he won MVP last year, whether it's rightly or wrongly for me. But name Mahomes in the playoffs this year, name Burrows. It was Neil Lamar. It was the perfect year for Josh Allen to go and solidify himself with the other QBs like Mahomes and stuff. But just going to do it for me.
Your hatred, man. Your hatred, Alan, is off the charts. You're reeling me. Actually, that's probably your highlight of the season, watching him fumble it away at the worst
tears at the end.
Listen, it was literally it was like watching Josh Allen's rookie season again. It's as if he reverted to rookie season Josh Allen all over again. And again, but this is what happens when players get under the brightest lights. Some of them choke. Josh Allen chokes. He's not been able to do it at any AFC Championship game. Lost to the Chiefs. Again, they were 13 seconds away from beating us. They lost.
Is
He's
that
been
fair,
there and
Danny?
can't do it.
Hold on.
No, right,
Is that
right,
fair,
right.
Danny? He's played 8 games where he's not had any turnovers, no interceptions in 8 games. That's a record when it comes to the postseason. Is it all on Josh Allen, or was he needing a lot more help than he was getting?
He needs help. I'm a Pats fan. I am no Bills lover. I actually do like Josh Allen. I'm not going to admit that, but I do think he's a brilliant player. But when you look at that team, I just watched Patrick Mahomes this year with Travis Kelce, Xavier Worthy, whoever else you had, Rashid Rice, and whatever else he's doing, and saw him stink the place out. Well, Josh Allen with Khalil Shakir, Dawson Knox, Dalton Kincaid, Brandon Cooks, who's been running the world and back in every single team.
Keon Coleman, James Cook.
Keon Coleman, okay, the owners just come out there and absolutely ripped him apart as well and saying he was a dud. So you can't put him in the same. It's not like he's out there with Puka Nakua and Devontae Adams.
Neither's Pat Mahomes.
Exactly. What did Pat Mahomes finish?
Pat Mahomes wasn't the reason for the Chiefs' season this year.
Oh, really?
Pat Mahomes
That's not what
done
my eyes told me. I
Pat
saw
Mahomes
him
done
stink the
everything.
place out.
Pat Mahomes done everything he possibly could to help that offense. His receivers drops, Kelsey's uncharacteristic drops. Pat Mahomes wasn't the reason. Pat Mahomes was over 500 yards rushing, which was unheard of, and then his passing stats weren't that bad either. This season wasn't in Pat Mahomes'.
I've just saw Josh Allen basically drag this team to the divisional game single-handedly. It wasn't the defense who's just put up 30 points. I've saw us, the Pats, go in to Highmark Stadium or Buffalo or whatever the hell it's called these days and beat them. And the only reason, again, we were 21 points up on them or something like that at home, and it was Josh Allen putting on his Superman cape and dragging them through. That's the only reason they got to that place of Josh Allen. And unfortunately, in
the regular season, Josh Allen, no postseason Josh Allen.
But you can't rely on that all the time, though. But it was the exact same. But he did it against the Jags as well. Like you look at this team. Okay, studs. Who's the superstars of the Bills? Who would you take tomorrow?
So
in your team?
Dalton Kincaid's a first round pick tight end.
No.
Listen.
First round pick. Supposed to be, what is he?
Well, he was probably one of the highlights in offense this year because he's scored touchdowns every single week near enough. Then you've got James Cook, who again has been unbelievable for them again this year.
Okay, one running back. I'm not giving you Dalton Kincaid. He's not even probably the top. I don't know, top 10 tight ends in the league.
He's definitely in your top 10 tight ends in the league. Again, go back and look at his stats.
I'm checking Sleeper than out.
The amount of touchdowns he scored this season was ridiculous. Khalil Shakir isn't a bad wide receiver.
No, but he's a wide receiver 3 in any good team.
So he's wide receiver 3 in the Pats?
Behind, yeah, probably.
I think.
Is he better than Stefan Diggs? Matt Collins?
The Bills obviously thought so. The front office did.
Dalton Kincaid ended up tight end number 15.
That surprises me.
With 1, 2,
that surprises me.
3, 4, 5 touchdowns in the regular season.
I thought
that's my point. My point is that without Josh Allen, take Josh Allen out of that team barely breaks 500. Right? That's all I'm saying.
I'm not disputing that.
As much as the 4 turnovers, the fumbles obviously cost them here, man. Yeah, you can't just put everything on him.
Well, you put everything. You're saying he dragged them there, so everything's on him in the regular season. You're comparing him to Pat Mahomes. What did Pat Mahomes do in the postseason? Pat Mahomes dragged the Chiefs through into Super Bowls and won them Super Bowls. Didn't buckle. He's not been injured in the postseason. Got injured in the regular season.
He's won the quiz down in Cancun.
Do you remember his last postseason game? Because I remember it being an absolute butt fuck by the end of the half.
But I also remember him getting a high ankle sprain in the divisional round against the Jags for a dirty tackle as well. But what I'm saying to you is though, in those divisional games and in those AFC Championship games, look at the Titans one a couple of years ago where he does like a 30, 40 yard rushing touchdown to score. Pat Mahomes, you've talked about Josh Allen putting on his Superman cape. The greatest quarterbacks put on that Superman cape, not just in the regular season, in the post-season. You look at Brady. Brady done it as well. Brady would put on his cape. It wouldn't do the rushing, obviously, unless it was a 1 yard sneak. But he would find these receivers regular. It wasn't creating issues for the team by creating turnovers. These guys take care of the ball because turnovers are massive. Josh Allen, regardless, you look at his post-season history, Josh Allen can't get over the hump. So,
To be fair for him,
again,
to be fair to
he's
him,
got to be part of the issue.
Hold on, to be fair to Josh Allen, for the game against the Broncos there, he had 283 yards, 25 of 39 completions against attempts, 3 touchdowns, 2 interceptions, which, as I said, was the first interceptions he's had in the postseason, and 3 sacks. I don't think all the blame can go on him. Rushing, he got 66 yards as well. The guy was doing lots there, but as you were saying, Superman, maybe he's no Superman. Maybe he does need a wee bit of help. Now,
Nobody is.
The Bills are moving on from Sean McDermott. We'll get to the higher environs, but I think it's important we focus on this because it does tie into what you're talking about with the Bills, is that Sean McDermott's gone now. Brandon Bean, who is responsible for the roster, for the formation of the team, he's been promoted. He's now in charge of all football operations there. And at Highmark no more. They are moving to their new stadium after the summer. This is a weird time for the Bills fans, and I'd probably be quite worried about where Josh Allen sees himself and sees this team going. Because, as you mentioned, Danny, the way the owner, Pegula, came out and was throwing Keon Coleman under the bus, would have been a wee bit worrying. If that's one of your teammates and if you think he's a rookie, you're wanting him to improve in his year 2, that guy's going into the off-season on a massive, massive downer. Not only has he not performed well, I think he only got his first touchdown of the season in the postseason there. That's not really bringing the team together, binding everybody together and building them back up to go again in the 2026 season. I'd be worried if I was a Bills fan.
Third year? Is this not Coleman's third year?
Oh, well, then he's right enough to throw him under the bus.
But again, though, the thing is, see, if you're Keon Coleman, you're literally telling your agent you want out of there. Now, Keon Coleman was either, I'm trying to think, I think they, if I remember right, they traded with us out of the first round so as we could pick Worthy, and then they picked Coleman very early second round.
Top of the second round, yeah.
So, again, obviously they were putting that on the coaching staff, Terry Pegula and Brandon Bean, saying they didn't want Keon Coleman, which is the whole thrown under the bus thing, right? Fine. But if you're Keon Coleman, you want out that building right away. Absolutely. At this stage. But it's just when I was seeing the quotes for Terry Pegula and watching the bits on Twitter and stuff, I was actually trying to scrub away the bit that said Bills to see if it was going to show Browns, just with how much of a tire fire it was turning up. It's just carnage and for the Bills Mafia just now.
I don't get it. Is the grass always greener at the end of the day? Like, you've got a coach who is a year-on-year, divisional round, championship level. And okay, you might not get there, at the end. I don't know. Like, people forgetting what the Bills were for the last 30 years before it got to, when they went that run of the 4 Super Bowls and then they were just tanked constantly. I don't know. Maybe they're trying to get in somebody friendly. Brian Daboll's getting banned about is coming back. Him and Josh Allen are absolute tight, apparently, when he was there as an offensive coordinator. Who knows what's going to happen? But, sometimes it's better the devil,
Yeah. In years, I think he's had it. Yeah. Moving on, let's have a wee word then about the Denver Broncos and Sean Payton, the job that he's done. Is this his third year back with the Broncos?
Second, I think, is it? Has it been 3?
I think it's the second.
Second year, well, to get moved on for the Russell Wilson debacle that was there, and I said his authority and how quickly he's managed to turn this team around and turn them. That defense is what have really pushed them on this year. We all know he's an incredible coach, but to get so much out of them so quickly and to get them in within touching distance of the Super Bowl, we do feel that they're probably going to miss out because of the injuries that's happened to them, especially the weekend there. So,
don't shake your head, Danny. Don't shake your head.
No, how can you? I'm sorry. Nobody has looked at the Denver Broncos all year where Bo Nix, he's the difference maker. Everybody has looked at that defense and when Pat Surtain, they've went Greenlaw, Hufanga, everybody they've got in there. That defense is elite. They've got Sean Payton, the calls. These are the pieces, and it was like Bo Nix is out there. Yeah, he's doing good stuff, but nobody's looking there the same way they're looking at a Lamar or a Mahomes or a Josh Allen. So to turn and say it's a foregone conclusion, to me is
disrespectful.
It's disrespectful, but I think it's short-term memory. Is look back at what has won the games and what they've done. Nobody's went, oh, Bo Nix, he was unreal. I look at it and go, Bo Nix, he was good and he did the job that he was there to do. He made the plays he was there to do. But nobody is showing off a highlight reel. Nobody's of Bo Nix plays. Nobody's looking at Bo Nix in the same way as, dare I say, a Drake May or a Matt Stafford or a Josh Allen or all the other MVP candidates that are up this year. So Jarrett Stidham is a good quarterback. He's not great. He's not the same level. But put him in with Sean Payton, put him in with that defence, give him the offensive weapons, RJ Harvey's and I think J.K. Dobbins might be coming back, and with Cortland Sutton and all the other weapons they've got in that defence, just can't roll them out.
Yeah, no, I do tend to agree with you. Bo Nix has been Bo Nix. He's been doing, and to steal a Kev phrase, just enough, to be honest. But it's it has been. They've got there on the back of the defence. The guys like you mentioned, Hufanga, who's been to the Super Bowl before with the 49ers. Greenlaw, been to this. I think he's been to multiple Super Bowls with the 49ers. These are guys that know what it takes to get there. So I can see where Danny's coming from. End of the day, Stidham's a backup for a reason. They obviously seen enough in him to have the confidence to say, right, if Bo Nix goes down, this guy can take us somewhere. So I do get where Danny's coming from. I don't think it's a foregone conclusion, but I think that defence is going to be doing a lot of the heavy lifting if they're to get anything out of the Patriots. But I think if I was thinking back on it, it is Sean Payton's third year because he had the Russell Wilson year and then he drafted Bo Nix, and then this is Bo Nix's second year. So
that's right.
So it's the job he's done in 3 years has been unbelievable. To get them to a championship game from, again, thinking back, saying to what Danny was saying about the Bills, the Broncos were a tire fire before that, and had been since Peyton Manning left. They were going, basically, it wasn't a coaching carousel they had, it was a quarterback carousel. So, the Broncos have been a mess. So, it's, again, if you're a Broncos fan, then it's good to see them back into this kind of game.
Don't diss Broncos, so we all remember the days.
I only managed to see half of the Broncos and Bills game. I caught the very end of it because I'd actually went to my bed to get a wee bit of shut eye because I stayed up till 4 o'clock in the morning having the time of my life as the Seahawks absolutely put the beat down on the San Francisco 49ers 41-6 at Lumen Field. What a game. What a start from Rashid Shaheed that I absolutely missed because I was still getting myself a wee drink by the time I walked in. We were already a touchdown up, and my oldest is a 49ers fan, and his face was shut, and I felt absolutely gut sorry for him. Probably if they're listening, that's him. It was terrific. I did the right thing. I sent him his bed at half time because it was just to see. It was going to get worse. It says, no, Dad, I'm not going to do it, Danny. So
I never brought it up. It was just like to say.
I told you, don't bring it up.
What a game it was. this was just unbelievable. I was not expecting. I thought we would win, having been at Lumen Field, how well we'd done in that final game of the season against the 49ers to get the number 1 seed. I just had a little bit of confidence in us. And I was saying to the wee man, it's weird being a football fan in Scotland, how we always think the worst is going to happen. If your team's gone 2-0 up away in Europe, and then you're thinking, oh no, we're definitely going to get beat by the end of this, or you might get a draw. See, going into it with confidence and thinking, no, we're actually going to do this. We're built, we've got the defences working so well together. Our offense is just cooking. Well, your quarterbacks no making an arse of it all the time. We're seeing ghosts or anything like that. It was a weird feeling, but it was some game. Listen, he's seen these ghosts. We've had that a couple of weeks ago with the 4 interceptions, and we still managed to eke out the win. It's not just about Sam Darnold. That's the great thing about it. It's not just about Kenneth Walker or Zach Charbonnet, which I feel absolutely God sorry for the guy that he's done his ACL and he's going to miss out in the conference championship game, because he has turned into such an important player for us. Him and Walker as the 1-2 has just been absolutely terrific. That's a wee bit that's putting a wee bit of worry in for me for the game this weekend, and we'll get to that a wee bit later on. But just to bask in it, I thought we were terrific. We didn't give them a chance. We knew everything that we had to do. We could read what they were going to do. We knew them inside out, and that's testament to Mike McDonald, the job him and his coaching staff, Adam Durda, has done. It's just absolutely terrific, and I cannot wait to see how we do this weekend coming. But no real proper standout bits. I think that opening touchdown, that really just set the tone for the rest of the evening, and it was brilliant to see.
I think the multiple Ken Walker touchdowns is probably the kind of highlight. Sam Darnold really didn't need to do anything. As soon as the opening touchdown happened, Sam Darnold didn't need to do anything, which meant JSN was irrelevant. And then Ken
Still
Walker
got his touchdown though.
Yeah, well, saying irrelevant, it's probably harsh, because I think for me, you look at the MVP candidates, CMC been in there ahead of somebody like JSN after the season he's had. For me, and again, there's probably other wide receivers you could mention in there, like Puka, who's in there as well, that for me should probably be in the MVP conversation ahead of CMC. But Darnold didn't need to do anything, so it'll be interesting. I think there's still those question marks over Darnold and whether he can do it in the big, again, like we were saying about Josh Allen, the brightest lights. Can Darnold do it in the championship? Can he then, if they get by that, can he do it against the Patriots defence where he's seen ghosts before? So it'll be interesting to see.
But this is the perfect Darnold game, though. Don't let him throw the ball 17 times. 120 odd yards or whatever it is. Like, it doesn't. You don't need to put the weight on him. When you go, okay, right, I think let's just talk about the kind of elephant in the room. Let's face it, this was a beat up, smashed up, banged up reserve 49ers team, and kudos to Shanahan and the rest of them for actually making it that far, because they shouldn't be there. Given the weapons that's there, the resources that they had at their disposal, how they managed to piece together a team, getting there.
The dodgy training fields.
Power station.
But getting there alone was a brilliant achievement, all things considered, when you look at it, right? So, fair enough. But this was the exact game that you want. You just got a defence that just puts the fucking smack down on that team. You run it right down their throats, and you don't put too much pressure on Darnold. You'll make him comfortable. He doesn't need to carry the weight like we're talking about a Mahomes or a Josh Allen or whoever it might be. He just needs to go out and play his game, manage it well, just do the simple things right. Don't turn the ball over. Don't beat yourself, because that's the thing that with Darnold's always had talent. He's always had an arm. He's always been athletic. But you make him beat himself. You put him in a position where he is going to set you up to score, because you will make him turn over the ball, fumble the ball, do stupid things. So if you can make him comfortable in that offense, behind that offensive line, and particularly with that defense rocking the way it is, Like that's where you want to be. And if I'm looking at it from a Rams point of view or a Patriots or a Broncos who's left, I'm like, okay, that's what you need to do. You want to ruffle his feathers. You want to put him under pressure. You want to make his life a misery. And that's how you beat this team. But other than that, I'm looking at this team and going, where's the weakness? Because that didn't come as much as a surprise to me. I think they're a brilliant team, well coached, just strength throughout the entire team. They're fun to watch. I do like watching them.
Watching it was... I've been a Seahawks fan for a while, but this has been the first year where I've properly forced myself to stay up really, really late to watch some of the games. I've been more like the highlights fan, and I feel like I've went on a wee bit of a journey with the team this year because the belief was there and it was grown with us. We lost in the first week, but it was the final drive that we get beat in, and that happened in the 3 games that we lost throughout the season. It was the final drive where we either made a mistake or we kind of just blew it. I think there was one we missed a kick. We have been contending all the way through. There's not been a game where we've been blown out, where we've been not looked like we could win it, and that's been fun to watch. We've had options, we've had answers to stuff that's been thrown at us. There's been games where Darnold, for example, had those 4 turnovers and we still came back to win the game. It's been fun to watch us. And listen to some of the podcasts this week, they were saying how that was the first that Lumen Field has sounded like the old, they called it Century Link. That's the first that the stadium has sounded like it used to do maybe about 10 years ago. That's the first time that the crowd has got it in.
The difference and the decibel meters ramping up. And
I seen that we're the 5th. That game was the Khalil Shakir touchdown was the 5th loudest noise in a stadium since I've been recording it there. We've got 2 in the top 5, which is amazing to hear. Absolutely superb. So yeah, thoroughly looking forward to this.
I remember saying it to you, Keith, on this during the regular season. I think he just lost last minute to the Rams, I think it was. But I remember us kind of saying, like, actually, if there's ever a moral defeat or whatever it is, or not moral defeat, I don't know you know what I meant, morale or whatever it is, you looked at that defeat and where you went, actually, we're in the all right position. We'll see them again and we can take them. You know, it wasn't like you're saying you're not getting blown out. You're looking and going, look, don't worry, we're doing all right. You know, they've got a number here, but next time we can see them. And that's the way that the whole season has went for the Seahawks. It's been great to watch. They're continuing to grow. As I say, I love watching them. If my team wasn't still in this competition, I'd be rooting for the Seahawks because it's a team I love to watch. I think they're great fun. I think Mike D's got them absolutely balling. Love it. So, unfortunately,
your team is still in the competition, and they played the Houston Texans, defeating them 28-16 on Sunday evening. Was yours the first game of the? Yours was the first game, the 8 o'clock kickoff, wasn't it? Yeah,
thankfully, yes.
How was the game for you, Danny?
It was. I was going to say it was nervy, but wasn't it? It was just exactly how I thought it would be. At no point in this game did I ever think we were going to lose. I'm kind of looking at it and going, we've got their number. But given the conditions, I was messaging my mate Biff, who he doesn't actually go to the games, but he drives the tailgating bus and he watches it in the bus outside the stadium with a big screen on, and he's got the heater on while everybody else is in the stadium freezing. That's how he likes to watch it. And he's like, it's blowing a gale out there, it's freezing cold, like you can understand the conditions, the snow was coming down. And I just always felt like we were sort of in control of the game. It was always in our destiny. We were sloppy at times, particularly in the first half offensively. Drake the first 2 games he's looked a wee bit jittery, and then the second half he's just played lights out in both the games so far. We've went up against the 5th overall defence in the Chargers, and then went up against arguably the first or the second, whatever you want to call the Texans. But you know, that defensive line with Daniil Hunter and Will Anderson, absolute elite. They've got to give any team problems, and they did. But the big talking point for this was our defence. what teams weren't talking about before. Getting Tonga back, getting Milton Williams back, getting Robert Spillane back, getting a healthy Landry back, all the difference. We shut down that run game. They put up, I don't know, 49 yards or something like that running. They had averaged about 100 odd yards for the 6 games before that. They were running over teams. Woody was doing well. They were actually, finally starting to find the run. We shut that down. They had no choice but to go through CJ Stroud. And again, we confused the absolute hell out of him. We gave him not a chance. He didn't know what was coming up. He didn't know where the blitzes were coming from. He had no idea what was happening in our defence. And we put the beat in. And that's why I sit on the side of give the kudos to the team that was winning, who actually dialed it up well. The Chargers team came out and went, we had no idea what coverage they were in. We were doing the exact same things to them. He had no idea what he was on. Okay, he was shit. He was hesitating. He was trying to put on that Superman cape and failed miserably. He tried to put that team on his back. No, obviously with it Nico Collins, they were hampered. Schultz went out early doors in this game. But he just failed. He failed miserably. To me, he just looked like a wee guy out there, unfortunately. He looks like he's still got a lot of growing and maturation. Is that the word? I think it might be.
That's the word.
To kind of go through before it goes that. But I just love watching this Patriots team. I was kind of, when I was in the pub for a couple of beers earlier, and I was born the ears off of Emma about talking about the Pats, as I do. And I was just saying, look, talking about all the teams we've got left, what I love of this team is that I look at it and I don't look at any, I can't see a weakness in the team, but I don't see anything that's exceptional. I think we're like 7s across the board. Whereas you look at the Rams wide receivers are 10s and, other areas and things. But I just look at this team and I think, our safeties are playing brilliant. Craig Woodson, the rookie, absolutely unreal. Hawkins, unreal. Our cornerbacks, Gonzo, I think is the best in the league. Call me biased, but fair enough. Diggs is there. We've got Matt Collins coming back this week. Our tight ends are good. We've got Hooper and Henry. Absolute solid. I would say probably the left side of our offensive line needs a wee bit of work. But man, I could just spend another hour just going off on one here. I'll try and slow myself down here. But overall, I thoroughly enjoyed the game.
I think we were talking about the Bills earlier on and how Josh Allen didn't have a top level receiver to work with. Stephon Diggs has been at the top when he was at the Vikings, when he went to the Bills. That's when he was at the top. We've not really seen much of that with him when he went to the Texans as well. We didn't see it there. We haven't seen it at the Patriots.
So he only had four games before he'd done his ACL, so he barely got it, But I think he's really good.
We've not seen that. What I was going to say is that we haven't really seen that option there for Drake May. What we have seen, though, is an incredible connection between him and Booty, because that touchdown pass, and I'd seen something during the week where he'd already thrown that pass to him. You'll probably know what game it was. But he made it look even better the second time round. That got me out my seat. I was sitting watching that on the couch. I jumped up with that catch. That's why we watch the American football. That's why we watch for moments like that, because what they do is just absolutely unreal. How he picked that out the air, dragged it back in, retained it. The ball did not wobble at all. There was no doubt that was going to be called a touchdown. And that weather as well, when the game had been pretty rotten up to that point, that wee moment of magic is why we watch the game. That's why we love it, and that was so special.
I think. Sorry, I was just going to say. I think watching the game, you're kind of again, defences were in top the majority first half. You get into that second half, Houston get themselves back in it, they get the touchdown, and then it's exactly what Danny said. It's like me then kind of figured things out, and literally for the Texans scored that touchdown. The next drive for the Patriots was that made pass to Booty, and it was at that point, I think I actually messaged on our group chat and just went, this game's done. As soon as May was able just to go, right, do you know what, enough's enough, we've let you hang around long enough, even with all the kind of turnovers that our defence has been creating. Boom, there's one to May in a matter of seconds, from me booty, and it was an unreal play. But as soon as that happened, you just felt the Texans had no answer. The Texans didn't have that explosive drive in them. Danny mentioned Schultz going out early. That was Schultz, again, we speak, again, not just us, but multiple podcasts speak about it. The tight end as the QB's safety blanket. As soon as that safety blanket got whipped out to CJ Stroud, that was, again, his mind was away. He didn't have Nico Collins, didn't have Schultz. That was him. He didn't know where to put the ball, couldn't diagnose. So that's, for me, the Texans didn't have that explosive moment in them, whereas the Patriots just went, we can do it, even with the pass rush for Daryl Hunter and Will Anderson, who was absolutely destroying the first round pick. I can't remember his name now. Will Campbell. He was just getting absolutely abused off of these guys from start to finish. But May was still able to get those explosive plays away if he needed to. And it's at that moment, it was literally, right, this game's done. Let's move on to the next one.
May is just the real deal. As I say, I believed in it last year when we were getting our arse kicked under, because you could just see his poise, you could see where he was running, you could see what he was doing. And it was his first ever touchdown pass, was the exact same route, exact same ball, right over the top of, what's his name? Singletree? No, not Singletree. God, what's his name? The cornerback for the Texans. Come on, help me out here, lads. Come on. What's his name?
Stingley
Jr. That's the one. Exact same. Right over the top of his head. Exact same touchdown. And it's just unreal touch. It was just absolutely perfect. His deep ball is just drop it on a dime. It's just put it exactly where it is. And it's beautiful to watch. But when the Texans come out of the second half, they put together 2 field goal drives, and I was like, you're sloppy here. They're keen to get in it. And like you say, Studs, that was it. That was the killer pass. And when you're talking about Josh Allen doesn't have, when you want your quarterback to come up at the big times, at the big moments, just that killer blow, that's exactly what Drake May has done. And he did it last week as well, second half. Just put your foot on their throat and just don't let up. And that's exactly what he done. Look, Patriots are playing with house money here, right? We did not expect to be in this position. I hoped for a fun team to watch again, and I hoped to be in the playoffs. And now I'm like, okay, how much are my flights to Boston to go and watch the Super Bowl? £1,000 for the 2 years for a few nights or there. It's already in the basket waiting to get hit, because I'm never going to roll this team out, because I love them so much. I think what Vrabel was doing with this team, it feels a unit. It is almost going back to the 2001 Patriots, where they introduced themselves as a collective. You know, when they're underdogs against the greatest show on turf and they're coming out, this is how it feels. Right is off, fine, doesn't matter, but we're together and we're going to fight together, and I'm loving it.
You know, going straight on to San Francisco, or is it you just stop over in Boston and then on to San Francisco? Or?
He's not got that much faith.
No, to be honest, like, I'd love to go and do that, but you know, who wants to go? It's in Santa Clara, you know, it's the middle of bloody. I'd rather go to Boston, go see my pals over there, go enjoy it with the people I love over there. That's the way I would see it.
Sounds good.
So sorry, Keith, I might be pulling out of the walkabout. It might harm, right? I'll give you the heads up there now.
You can get a pass for that, I'm sure. Reporting live from downtown Boston. His cars are getting flipped over beside him. I don't know if that's if you've won or lost, to be fair. I'm looking forward to that. One more divisional round game. We had the Chicago Bears hosting the LA Rams. And I've got to say, I think the biggest problem in this game for the Bears is that it wasn't snowy enough. I think it was freezing cold. I think it was like -10 or something it was getting to. But the weather was all right. I was expecting a snow game. I was expecting it to be horrendous for the Rams, and it just wasn't uncomfortable enough for them. And they showed up. Wasn't the best of the games, but there's a couple of magical moments on there. One especially for Caleb, who talk about Superman moments. This guy's in his second year. Is that right? Aye, second year.
Yeah.
He's on a incredible trajectory. Comparisons with Josh Allen and how he's done in his first couple of years to Caleb, and the fact that he's doing this and he's got a offensive coordinator, a great mind, and Ben Johnson as well to carry him along. This is looking quite good for the Bears fans. Unfortunately, it wasn't to be. Gutted for our pal Grant. That didn't quite happen. I know he was full of confidence, as Grant always is, but the Rams edged it 20-17. Studs, what do you take away from this game?
For me, I again, probably more on the season as a whole. Danny was saying, obviously, he was hoping for a fun team to watch. The Bears are a fun team to watch. You're looking at what they're doing. Guys like Kyle Manungai coming out the backfield, again, what, a 4th round pick. Really stamped his name on the running back RB1 slot for me for the Bears. Caleb Williams, as you mentioned, he has been vastly different last year as he was this year. Again, that could be the Ben Johnson effect, to be honest. We've seen some absolutely unbelievable highlights from Caleb Williams throughout, not just in the postseason, but during the regular season as well. And again, he provided a highlight moment in this game as well. Unfortunately, he had the turnover that ultimately killed the game as well. But yeah, for me, the kind of big takeaway, if you're a Bears fan, was we've got a fun team to watch, and I think they can look forward to next season as a whole.
Danny?
See, I just think that, yes, the trouble with this Bears team is the 3 interceptions, not just the one, it's the 3 interceptions, starting with an interception. When you're this late in, you can't do it. So for every magic play you're getting from Caleb in that final touchdown pass, we'll maybe go into what the fuck the DB was doing at the time. How the hell do you leave somebody wide open like that in the backfield? How do you end up 10 yards in front of him when you know finally it's a Hail Mary? Like, God knows. I was saying the other day, he was caught ball watching. So like in football parlance, so when a corner comes in and they're caught ball watching. That's what he was done. He was too busy watching and they got to sack him or not. And he was too busy downfield, missing what was going on. Okay, not behind him. There was a wee bit of pushing and shoving, but he should have been tighter. Anyway. But if Caleb can just tidy up the games, stop those interceptions, those wild sort of throws that he's putting out there, just tidy it up. Honestly, the ceiling is as high as you can get. He's an exceptional talent. He has every attribute you want. He's like that throw he made. I think he ended up back 20 yards back. He was on his own 40-yard line, and they end up 5 yards in the end zone. What's that? About 65 yards in there. Unreal arm talent, and it looked like he wasn't even trying. It looked like he was actually off his feet, and it was just pure arm. That is amazing to see. Absolute unreal. But you then go back and look at the tape and look at his interception, and you go, tidy up there. The big thing, I don't know how you guys feel. So I'll ask you: do you go for 2? Given where you were at in that game, considering you'd only put up 10 points in the first 59 minutes and 20 or 40 seconds or whatever it was, you've kind of got them the ropes. Now, bear in mind, this is a Rams team that had 1 penalty for 5 yards. They're well coached, they're well disciplined, they don't give up anything. I don't know what there was 1 turnover or something like that for them. No, they had no turnovers in this game. That's how well coached this team are. Do you just go for it in that instance? You go, you know what? Fuck it, like the season's in the line. We can just end this here now. Why give Stafford the ball back in his hands? Why do you give him a chance when you've got Irn-Cru out there, when you've got Adams out there, when you've got Williams, Kyron Williams, the running back. When you've got all these talents out there, and you've got Sean McVay there, and you see how well drilled they are in such a good team. Why do you give them the ball back? Particularly when you're Ben Johnson, when you're a bloody psychopath, when you're used to going for it with Dan Campbell at 4th and down in your own 20-yard line at times. It's just like that baffled me. So sorry, I'm going to do you. Am I talking shit? Should you have went for it?
You want to go first, Keith?
This is what you do. It's like, these are the ones where you do go for it, because it isn't just about that one game. It's about when you get to future games, when you're in that situation again, and players have to have that memory. It might be a time where they've not achieved it, they've not got that that 2 points. They've still got to have those experiences to give them the confidence for actually going for it. So that's why you do it in the regular season. If you do it regular season, that's building it up to the postseason. That's exactly what you do it for. That's why you put all that effort in. That's why you put all the practice in, and you give yourself that chance. You've got to back yourself. You're not going to get it every time, but this is the ones where you want to get it, and you've got to back yourself that you are going to get it. So it's that growth mindset, the positivity. I'd definitely go for it, but I'm that positive type of guy.
But surely an offensive genius that is Ben Johnson has a good 2-point play up his sleeve, studs.
You would think.
I'm not going to be contrarian and say no, he done the right thing here. What I'm going to say is what has Ben Johnson done with the Lions to get them into the playoffs last season, to get them to the championship game last season? What did he do with the Bears this season regularly? It was he went for it. So you do what got you to the dance in the first place. You go for those plays. The 2-point opportunity comes up. You haven't been great on offense. You absolutely go for it. And it's no saying you don't trust Cairo Santos to kind of get the points. It's saying, well, wait a minute, I've built this team on going for it. The Bears, similar, again, a lot of similarities for me between the Bears and the Patriots. The Bears were playing with house money. I don't think there was a Bears fan out there as optimistic as Grant is. There wasn't a Bears fan out there, I think, that would have thought to them, wait a minute, we've got a chance to get to a championship game. We're in the divisional round. They might have thought playoffs, but again, you do what's got you there, so you go for it in those scenarios for me.
Okay. The Rams have progressed on. I'll be honest, because we've had such tight games with them, I was kind of hoping it was going to be the Bears that we're going to be hosting this weekend. Rams do give me a wee bit of fear, and I think what we'll do is we'll have a wee quick look at the hirings and firings before we have a quick discussion about the conference championship games. Hirings and firings, I'll fire through them super fast, the ones that we've got, and we can just pick out one or two of them and what you think about them. So Sean McDermott's gone from the Bills after 9 years. Quite an emotional wee message that he posted on Instagram. I thought it was lovely, quite classy, the guy. Wherever he goes, he is going to be a great acquisition for the next team that he goes to. Just hope he does well wherever he goes. Promoted was Brandon Bean, as we mentioned, which is absolutely wild. And flung under the bus was Keon Coleman. Also hired this week, we had Robert Saleh, who was the defensive coordinator at the 49ers. Did a good job, especially with a totally beat up team. He is now the head coach of the Tennessee Titans. I liked him. I remember watching Hard Knocks and thinking, this guy, he's good. He talks a good game. I'm glad to see that he got a wee bit of redemption arc at the 49ers, even if it did fall short. And it'll be good to see how he gets on at the Titans and how they can protect Cam Ward and get the most out of him, and maybe even my boy when he comes back. Also hired was Jeff Hafley at the Miami Dolphins, moving from the defensive coordinator at the Packers, moving down to Miami.
Breaking news.
Yeah.
From Mikey Brown. The Ravens are hiring Jesse Minter as their next head coach.
Chargers DC. I was going to say there's been breaking news.
Oof.
So the Ravens have got their head coach.
Sorry to interrupt you there.
No, that's a good shout. We'll hopefully get Mikey on. He's been unfortunately had some damage to his recording room, so we'll do our best to get Mikey back on. I'd love to hear what he has to say. If you don't hear him here, you maybe hear him on the Ravens podcast.
His comment next to it is "Come on!" ! So I'm guessing he's rather pleased with that appointment.
Well, I think you were mentioning, Danny, obviously the Chargers had a number 5 defense this season, so obviously the guy knew what he was doing with it on the defensive side of things. Ravens' defense this year was probably very un-Ravens-like, to say the least. So I think it made
If
sense.
only they'd had a defensive coordinator that they could have promoted from within in the past couple of years. If only, Mikey. That's a wee shame.
A couple of years too late, man.
So Jeff Hafley's way to the Dolphins. Kevin Stefanski has gone to the Atlanta Falcons.
Just to pick up on Hafley going, I don't know if you've seen, but they just hired their new general manager as well, who is a former vice president of player acquisition or something like that at the Green Bay Packers. So obviously there must be a relationship there with Hafley. So you've got to assume that's a joint effort and a bit of,
joined up thinking, I believe the term is, Daniel.
Yep.
Yeah. I seen a comment from him saying that they're going to take a lot of what they did to the Packers and try and adopt it in Miami. So one thing that they're going to do is every year or every second year they're going to be drafting a quarterback to see if they can get something a wee bit special there. So
and feel like the 500 hurdle. Yep.
And also not draft a wide receiver the first round apparently as well.
Oof,
or do it and then don't play them. Well, don't use them anyway.
Two more hirings. One we did mention last week was John Harbaugh of the New York Giants. He was introduced to the press and the players this week. A wee interesting thing I thought from this was that Joe Schoen, Joe Schoen, I don't know how you pronounce it. Joe Schoen. It's kind of his powers have been diluted a wee bit. John Harbaugh's getting the final say over all footballing matters, which you don't know if that's just him just getting edging Shane out a wee bit, if he'll maybe be able to get his own guy in. But interested to see how the Giants do.
I'm surprised he's still there after that Hard Knocks show.
Yes.
You're just like, really, when they were talking about where Barkley could go and who they were going to take, the quarterbacks who were there, and his kids, and Daniels, and and it's just like, man, I can't believe he's still there.
Yeah, well,
I don't think Giants fans can believe he's still there.
You'll have to draft well. Yeah, he'll have to draft well. We'll get Murdo back on round about draft time to see what he thinks. And the final one is Mike McDaniel, who was looking so dapper in his Ravens interview. Did you see him with his check suit on? But 3 sizes too small for him. He is now the offensive coordinator at the LA Chargers. So I'll be interested to see how they do there. But help for Herbert, some good weapons for him there to play about with. They'll be very interesting to see. Be even tighter division next year then, Studs?
Well, as you said, the final one, when you forgot Eric Bieniemy's been brought in at the Chiefs as well, which didn't apparently make your list, which is obviously Irn-Cru bias here, but we'll just bypass that. Listen, again, you mentioned it in our group chat about Justin Herbert, and we'll be interested to see with the Waitums. Again, I mentioned my comeback on that was the question about, is Justin Herbert any good? Is he in this category quarterback? You've got good quarterbacks, you've got very good quarterbacks, you've got elite quarterbacks. What kind of category does Justin Herbert fall into?
Yeah.
And again, you can put it on, he had a beat up O-line. Listen, elite QBs have done it with beat up O-lines before. So it'll be interesting. I think that's probably the right terminology, Keith. But it comes down to what kind of talent is Justin Herbert going to be.
I think with Herbert, it's a confidence thing, because he saw Jim Harbaugh all last season talking about he's a beast, and it's as if he was just trying to big him up, try to get him to believe in himself, believe that he can be this game changer like Josh Allen is, because he's got the attributes, he's got the accuracy, he's got the arm talent as well, but he just doesn't seem to have the belief in himself, and I wonder how that will change this coming season. Right,
the guy does look like a freak athlete, to be fair. Sorry, Daniel, you go, mate.
No, I was just saying, I said post-season in this podcast that I want to just see Josh Allen, Justin Herbert. I'm Josh Allen, the daft man.
Josh Allen fanboy.
I know, that's it. You think I've just got a big poster on my wall?
We'll call you Haley.
Right, no, I
It feels
wonder.
dirty. He's hugging his cell to make him feel better. It feels so dirty. He's
just
like, oh no. I'm choosing the Bills.
No, right, look, you're wasting valuable time here, studs. You're getting off track. You behave yourself. No, I remember just saying, I was like, I wanted to see him just grab this team by the balls and drag them along, and I've not seen it. This was the perfect time where his team needed him to put on that Superman cape we were talking about and just grab their team and pull on, and he just constantly comes up short, and I'm not convinced by him at all now.
Sounds like another quarterback in your division, what I was talking about earlier.
Tua?
I'm not even taking that.
Sorry, Keith,
Right,
you
okay.
can continue, my man.
Let's move on. We
Move on.
have two more games to cover. It's Conference Championship Sunday, this Sunday, starting at 8 o'clock with the Patriots at the Broncos. Mile high for you, Danny. How do you foresee this game going?
I'm terrified. History is against us. I don't think we've ever won a playoff game at Mile High, as I think I mentioned in our WhatsApp community chat. 10 years ago, in the lead up to Super Bowl 50, which the Denver Broncos won, the Patriots went up against the Denver Broncos at Mile High, and at that time it was Noodle Aram, Peyton Manning at the time. I don't know if you remember watching it. Manning was shot. It was his final season. His arm had completely gone. He was barely managing games. But it was that defense where I think it was like DeMarcus Ware and Von Miller were just absolutely wrecking the joint. Von Miller went on to be Super Bowl MVP. They were just an elite defense. And we took them close. We missed an extra point, I think it was. I think Gostkowski missed an extra point, and we just come up short with a 2-point conversion. Brady to Gronk, we ended up losing like 21-20 or something like that in the game. And it's just, and guess where that Super Bowl 50 was played? Santa Clara, the home of the 49ers. It's just got it written all over again. And I look at it and I hear everybody saying, like, user favourites, and you're away in there, and it's like, this isn't what this team is. Like, this Patriots team, remember, we were 4 wins last year. You know, we were the fact that the Bills decided to rest everybody, and Bazooka Joe Milton decided to go off and won against the Bills, game away from being the first overall pick in the draft. So I don't like the fact that we are a favourite for this game in the AFC Championship game a year later. If I look at it kind of objectively, I say, yes, I think we've got everything there we can do. I think we've got every bit as good a defense as them. I think we've got the better quarterback, far better, even if that was Bo Nix or Drake or Jarrett Stidham. We still have the better quarterback. They have good pieces. I think it's got to be a really close match. I think it's got to be a lot closer than people think. I think the 5.5 points is too generous. I think it's got to be a lot closer, particularly with being at Mile High. You know, that's a massive home advantage. That's a loud crowd. I hate hearing that incomplete. Fuck off, man. That does man nothing. You know, but yeah, so I say I'm playing with house money, but at the same time, I'm just Martha's baking, making buttons, man. You know, I don't know how this is going to
go. Studs, before we come to you, I just want to say it's nice that you've got this game against the Broncos, who are down their starting quarterback, but it's just as well that you're not up against a former player who has played 19 games in the NFL. He's only had 4 starts, and these 4 starts before the Jarrett Stidham. Let's see, 4 starts before the New England Patriots. There's a lot of things that suggest that the scriptwriters might have a bit of a field day with you guys if the Stidham was to do this. And it's not
Josh McDaniels as well. Just say Josh McDaniels was all see at the time as well.
It's not as if you know a thing or two about a backup coming in and taking over and running riot with
I can't
Brady
believe you're
having
doing
done
this,
it.
man. That's 2 bloody shots you've had at me. That's just no nice, right? You should
Just
both
try
of you
to
should
get you a wee bit
apologise.
I've said nothing.
Don't you
What
start.
do you think, Studs, then, for the Broncos?
I think it's going to be 28-3 to the Broncos at half time.
What world are you living in? This has got the underwritten all over it.
No, in all seriousness, for me, I kind of nailed my flag to the mast early. I think this is an easy victory for the Patriots. I do not see the Broncos having enough on offense. I think the defense, as Danny said, I think the defense will help them keep it close. But at the end of the day, defense can only do so much. They'll end up getting tired. We've seen it for me where at certain points he's just went, "Do you know what? Enough's enough. I can make the big plays to carry us over the line as the Patriots." So for me, again, I would like to live in a world where both teams can lose this game, since it's the Broncos and the Patriots. But let's
I
be
hate
honest,
you,
that's
Studs.
not really an option.
Did we make it another 6 months before we speak on this podcast again, man? Fuck you.
Listen, I'm here to be honest, right? I would love to be able to say Nanny's one. I actually did. I was hoping the Texans would get there, to be honest, because it would be nice to see a team that hasn't been there. Because for what was it you mentioned earlier, Danny? 15 years it's been Patriots and Chiefs in the AFC Championship game. So it has been a domination for those two teams over the last 15 years. But yeah, I can't see a world where Jared Stidham does enough for the Broncos
More
offense.
importantly, it's Tony Romo in the call. How many times does he mention Mahomes? Give me your over under on that one.
Well, see, to be fair, I'm going to send him a video of my waddle and see if he brings me into the same chat as Mahomes.
He probably will. Did you hear him? I think it was actually during last week's game. He called. Was it? Did he do the? He did the Broncos. Bills game,
Broncos
didn't he?
Bills.
He called Allen Mahomes at one point. Oh,
You've
you
got
can hear for yourself.
your fascination with Tony
Alan's
Romo's
got lighter
nearly as much
fingers.
as your fascination with Romo is nearly as much as it is with Pat Mahomes. Looking at the depth chart that the Broncos have got, it's as if they're a year or two away from where you kind of want them to be. J.K. Dobbins is in IR. He was their lead running back for the season with the most yards.
He's been activated.
No way.
Off IR, he got activated off IR this week.
There you go. Well, that might be the wee positive that they're needing. Jaleel McLaughlin's done well, RJ Harvey as well, but not quite what you're looking for to get you through to the Super Bowl. But I totally missed in about J.K. Dobbins. They're talking about how well they've done with
Sorry, Keith. I was just going to say the problem you've got is you look at what the Patriots done, as Danny said, to the Texans. The Texans' running attack had been so potent for them in the previous 6 games. If the Broncos can't rely on that rushing attack, because the Patriots' rushing defense has been so good, and it's again, Danny kind of mentioned that it's been underrated how good the defense has been until last week, when people actually. Probably one of the few times that people have actually sat up and paid attention to them, because they were on prime time. That defense is and has been elite. I must admit, I loved the signing of Harold Landry at the start of the season for the Patriots, because again, he was he was a monster in that Titans defense. For multiple years, he was the guy that was making that team tick. So for him to be on that Patriots side is just adding a piece to an already elite defense.
Their wide receiver core, you've got Marvin Mims as their wide receiver one. He's been doing really well. Some great catches last week. Courtland Sutton's there. Pat Bryant's come onto a game as well, and of course, little Jordan Humphrey just seems to be popping up and getting the important touchdowns at the time for them as well. So there is options there. It's just whether if Stidham can rise to the occasion. But it seems that it's going to be far too much of a ask for him to do that. And you would, I think we're going to end up giving this the kiss of death, Danny, and think if the Yearfoods are going to go for the Patriots here. I know Stud's already said that. You will be as well. I think I'm going to actually give you the kiss of death then. Patriots to win. That's the three of us going there. Studs, what's your score prediction for this one?
Oh, I'll go 24-13.
Danny?
Oh, I've not even given it much a thought, man, to be honest. I was about to say 28-17, then realised I said they would keep it close, and I went 11 points. Isn't it that close, is it? I think it is still going to be. I hate it. No,
Danny.
See, not right. The trouble is, every game the Broncos play is close. Doesn't matter if it's against the bloody backups of the Chiefs or whether it's against the Bills. Every game's within about 3 points. So I will say it's going to be 24-21.
Okay, I'll go 34-27. Try to do your math to make sure that you're hitting it right into it. Yeah, no, I absolutely am. I think it will end up an interesting game. Aye, right, I'm going for the over for that one. Okay. Who's going to win it for their team then? So we're all saying that the Pats are going to win it. Is it going to be a bit of booty magic? There we go, that's the podcast title.
Booty thing.
No. Mondre Stevens just to run it down the throat.
Yeah. Excellent. Studs, anything you want to add?
Nah, whitewash for the whitewash. I'm on the refs. Abandon the game, kick them back out for PEDs.
Do a college and just send in the Chiefs into the Super Bowl.
Just throw them in just to make Romo happy. Fuck it.
Absolutely. To finish us off then, 11:30, I think it is, on Sunday night. We've got the Rams heading up to Lumen Field to take on the Seahawks. We've played them twice already this season. The first time the Rams won 21-19. Second time the Seahawks won 38-37. Two incredibly tight games. I think it's going to be incredibly tight again. Defenses have been terrific for both teams. I think if you're looking at it, the offenses, it's the Rams just edge that there, but it's just whether the Seahawks defense can shut them down. For me, Charbonnet is a massive loss, and it's came at the worst possible time. But I still think the Seahawks are going to edge it, and I think it is going to be up within 3 points. The final score is going to be. So I'm going for a Seahawks win. I'll go 31-28 Seahawks. It's going to be one that they're going to talk about for days afterwards.
Walk off field goal.
I wouldn't mind that. Wouldn't mind that at all.
It's a good feeling when it happens for your team, not so good when it happens against it.
But do you think, Danny, what are you thinking about this one? The Seahawks dark side, I think that's what they're calling the defense. The dark side, are they going to be able to go toe-to-toe with McVay, who always seems to find a way?
I don't think this is going to be that close, to be honest. I kind of said last week, and I'm kind of sticking by it. I find the Rams aren't just firing all cylinders. They're doing enough to get by in games, and it's fine when it's a battered and banged up 49ers team, or who they played in the divisional game before that, or the
Bears. So you had Bears, and
it was the Bears. Sorry, it was the Bears for them, and before it, but I'm just like. But it's been for weeks in the regular season as well, where it's, they were blowing the doors off of teams, but then they lost like to the Panthers. They marginally just get past the Panthers, and But they lost to the Panthers early doors, and they lost again. I think it was probably you guys actually in the Seahawks, and it's just like they just seem to have hit a stumbling block, and I just don't have a lot of faith in them. They've got all the parts there, and they're so well disciplined stuff, but I don't know. It's just something. I don't know if it's since all the controversy with Puka Nakua and stuff. It just seems to coincide with it. The fact that you're like something's went a wee bit off with them, and I just don't fully. Put it this way, if I'm a Patriots fan, I want to see the Rams win this game, and that's the best compliment I can give the Seahawks, because I think the Seahawks are an elite team. I don't see really any weaknesses other than Darnold, but he can be elite at times. It's just he probably doesn't have the consistency. Whereas the Rams, as I say, I don't know, I just feel like they're beatable. They've got something about them. Again, I believe that if Ben Johnson had balls and went for two, they wouldn't even be here. We'd be talking about them in this game. So I like the Seahawks in this game. I think the home field advantage, I think the 12s are going to go absolute mental. I think the freezing cold Pacific Northwest is going to give them fits. I think it's going to be a big defensive game for the Seahawks. Sorry, Keith, I know I'm jinxing you, man, right? But I genuinely think that the Seahawks are the better team, and I think the better team cream rises to the top, and that's what's going to happen. The Rams have done well, but I still think they're just not as good.
They've been here. They've done it recently. Was it 2021? Was it the Rams were here last? It's don't know. Studs, what you thinking?
For me, I think we mentioned a lot about the similarities between. Well, in fact, no, we didn't mention about similarities. Sorry, you were talking about Charbonnet and Walker, that 1-2 punch. I think the Rams have kind of found that with Corum and Williams. You're seeing Corum getting worked in a lot more this season, and Williams getting rested at certain points. They've got, I think, wide receiver core, purely because they have that 1-2 punch, I probably lean towards the Rams, where you've got Adams and Nakua. Seahawks, you've got JSN. I'd be lying if I was to try and even name the Seahawks too, to be honest. But I do think the defenses, both defenses are elite. There's no getting away for that. You've got the likes of Jared Verse on one side, who's just a monster, and then you've got the likes of like Nick Emenwoody, who pretty sure is up for defensive rookie of the year. Was that seen, or defensive player of the year? I can't remember, but I mean, Nick Emenwoody's had a great season for the Seahawks. So you're looking at two absolutely elite defenses, and it's whether they can cancel out what has been potent offenses as well on both sides for me. So I do think this one. I think this one will be closer than the previous one.
Well, I guess, sorry, just to kind of just put a wee pin in what I was saying there. The one thing that I've overlooked is how fit is Sam Darnold. Now, you kind of went into the last game with this oblique injury, but when he's only asked to throw the ball 17 times for 100 yards, what if he's asked a wee bit more to do? Is he actually going to be fit? Is he actually going to be able to make 30 throws if it's required? Keith, come on. I'm looking at you here. You've got to tell me. Do you have faith in your boy?
I'm thinking. That's what I've been thinking all week, is for this half of the season, it's like we've had two separate Seahawks teams. The first team absolutely blitzed the first half of the season, where we were going in at halftime a couple of scores up, and that was just throwing the ball, tossing it about. GSN was absolutely on fire, but he's kind of quieting down in this half of the season, and it's been more, we've been working the running game, we've been demoralising teams, tiring them out, and then just seeing it over the line that way. I wonder if we're going to have to go back a wee bit and try and get Darnold tossing it about a wee bit more, get AJ Barner involved a wee bit more, Khalil Shakir in the offense as well, and he's been doing amazing with the punt returns and just the energy that gives to the team as well. I think we're going to have to lean on him a wee bit more, especially in this game. But he absolutely is a leader. He's the journey he's been on when he's been at the Rams. He's been at the Vikings last season, and the performances that he's done this year with the Seahawks, I've got to have that faith in them. I know everybody will bring up the ghosts. I'm not seeing the ghosts. They've been exercised. This is our chance to prove that he's the guy to lead us to the Super Bowl, and I think it's way ahead of schedule. But I think we can absolutely do it. Yes.
Yes, Chief. Let's go for it.
Okay. So, Seahawks winning. I'm going to go massive score. Let's go. I'm trying to take my multiples to 7. Jeez, 35. 38, 36.
Wow.
The Rams are going to get a 2-point, convert a 2-point at 1 point, and they scared the shit out of me. How's it going to be one? A walk-off one. I think it's going to be a... Aye. I don't know. We're just going to win somehow. It doesn't matter.
You're shining
it. One more than them. Do you know what I am? And this is the first I've felt this with American football. Like my football, I get that feeling. This is the first I've been so invested in it, and where it can just, it's all building it, and I'm so looking forward to this. If we get there and we get to the Super Bowl, and then we're going to walk about, what a night that's going to be. But anyway, what will be. I cannot wait for this game. I will be fueled on coffee all day on Monday, because I'm going to make sure I'm going to be watching this. Just hopefully I'll not be doing a go to bed at halftime badger. Anyway,
prick.
Anything else? How do we think this is one before we finish up, gents?
Go on then, Danny. I'll let you go first.
I think, taking into consideration potential injury with that your man Darnold, I will go 27. I'll go 27-20. I think there'll be a score in it. I think to the Seahawks. I think it'll go down to Stafford will have the ball in his hands in that final play, and I think that defense is going to come up trumps right at the end. I think there's going to be a batted down pass, an interception, or something, a fourth down that isn't converted, and the Seahawks are victorious and go into the Super Bowl.
Take that.
Oh, so I've got to decide and vote as to whether I make it a clean sweep or not.
Go for it.
I'm going to go for a tight one as well. I'll go with 31-30 as my score, and I picked the Rams to go to the Super Bowl on my picks. So I am and win it all, by the way. So I am going for the Rams to sneak this one.
I'm not holding that against you at all. There's a wee niggle. There's that wee Scottish niggle in there about that there. It's I'm trying to shake it off. Try to get off positive. I'm hoping.
I think the injury comes out of play.
That's the Charbonnet one or the oblique to...
No, Ken Walker goes down in the game and you're absolutely fucked and you've got no running backs. Ken Walker's not been injured this season.
You're a bad man, Studs. You're a bad man.
Hold on. Right. I'm going to put this out there. I was going to keep this for next week if everything had went the way that we think it's going to go. If the Seahawks get through, right, we've managed to defeat the forces of evil down in SoFi.
Los Angeles.
If we can defeat the Rams, we get to the Super Bowl. We are a running back short, so we've got Kenneth Walker III, but we do need that wee hit. We're up against the Patriots in the Super Bowl final. Do you know who we bring back?
O.J. Simpson.
Marshall Lynch.
And when we're on that 1 yard line, we don't throw it. We don't throw. We run it and we ram it.
Revenge
mode.
That's fine. We bring back Malcolm Butler, right? Boom. We see it.
Yeah.
Can you imagine a repeat though of Seahawks Patriots? See, this is the thing.
A rematch, happy go. Not I don't want a repeat. I want a rematch.
I think like the Patriots actually win gives you more storylines. The fact that there's already been 2 Super Bowls against the Rams and the Patriots. Both went to the Patriots. As I said, as a Patriots fan, I'd much rather see the Rams. I think we match off better with them, and I think we've got a better chance against them. And it'd be interesting to see, got a 3, or is it the Patriots against Seahawks, that repeat of Super Bowl 49 and whatever happened there, 11 years ago. It doesn't matter what happens, man. As I say, I feel I'm playing with house money. Maybe you're thinking the same, Keith, that, probably didn't expect to be here. Whatever combination it is, that we're going in for a treat. This sport's just fucking amazing.
Love it.
There's part of me wants. I would like to see Devontae Adams kind of get that Super Bowl just because the guy, we know he's a Hall of Famer. Similar to like Larry Fitz. I wanted to see him win that Super Bowl against Pittsburgh. Obviously, we know how that one went when he was with the Cardinals. Devontae Adams, always when your team's doing it, you always look for a wee story in the playoffs, and you look for either players that you used to play with your team that's maybe not won a Super Bowl. But for me, I think it's Devontae Adams. Would love to see him win a Super Bowl.
I'm just hearing you hate your 2 pals, and you don't want to see either of them happy.
That sounds lovely. That sounds lovely.
Danny's been happy for fucking a dynasty. So you have had your element of happiness.
We've been stars for the last 7 years. I don't know what you're talking about.
Listen, you were supporting the Patriots through a dynasty. You know what it's like to enjoy a Super Bowl win.
Didn't you know it was a dynasty at the time, man? You wouldn't have seen that when we were losing bloody to fucking the Giants twice in a row. And we've got 10 years between Super Bowl wins. So I was there through all the years.
Oh, no, I know. I'm not disputing that. I'm absolutely not disputing that. You were also there for leaving at half-time at 28-3. So let's not go back and revisit the past.
Gentlemen,
we're not here to rehash.
I was watching in other places. I just didn't want to watch it in that pub with you lot.
If you have made it, thank you very much. If you have made it this far with the Gridiron Crew, we commend you, we salute you, we thank you. If you are up for an incredibly terrible patter like this, then you're more than welcome to join our Gridiron Crew WhatsApp group. Send us a wee DM, we'll send you the link. You're welcome to come and join us. Just talking football with pals. It's a great wee place. It's growing each week. We're getting new folk added to it. It's becoming a great wee community, so looking forward to adding more folk to that and hearing their points of views and seeing 49ers fans weep. So thank you very much for listening to Gridiron Crew. Danny, it's been a pleasure, bud.
Always, mate. Loved it.
Studs,
incredible to have you back, pal. Hopefully we'll see you again soon.
Fingers crossed. It was good to be back on after a wee hiatus.
We've been the Gridiron Crew. It has been a pleasure talking football with you, and we hope to do it again soon. Thanks very much.